Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. For decades, fruits have been placed on a pedestal as the ultimate symbol of health, natural, colorful, and overflowing with vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. We've been told to eat the rainbow, to fill our plates with nature's candy, and to believe that fruit is always a safe, healing choice, especially as we age. But what if that message isn't entirely accurate for older adults? Groundbreaking research is beginning to reveal a more complicated reality. A recent long-term study published in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences found that certain fruits, particularly those high in fructose, acid, and specific plant compounds, may worsen inflammation, accelerate muscle loss, and impair circulation in adults over 60. In fact, the study showed that seniors who consumed high-fructose fruits daily were 32% more likely to experience leg pain and mobility decline over a 5-year period, compared to those who moderated their intake. This isn't fearmongering, it's physiology. As the body ages, metabolism slows, insulin sensitivity decreases, and joints become more vulnerable to inflammatory triggers. And while many fruits were once helpful, they may now be quietly working against you. The sugars that once fueled you now spike your blood sugar. The acids that once aided digestion now inflame your joints. And the nutrients that once energized you may now come with side effects no one ever warned you about. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 fruits that, despite their wholesome appearance and reputation, may be silently contributing to muscle fatigue, poor leg circulation, and chronic pain in aging bodies. These aren't exotic, rare fruits either, they're the ones you likely have in your fridge or fruit bowl right now. So if you're over 60, or care for someone who is, stay with me until the end, because what you learn today could change the way you eat, walk, and live. Let's begin. 1. Mango. What about a tropical, rich, and extremely sweet fruit that can have this effect if a fruit this basic can? The one most adored by many. Let's discuss the true sugar bomb, the mango. Mango, the 7th fruit, is a sugar explosion for your joints. Mango, juicy, soft, and candy. Nearly everyone likes this fruit, particularly during the summer months. Here's the truth though. The mango may be the most harmful fruit for elderly people who have joint weakness and leg pain. Why? Since it contains a lot of natural sugar. I don't mean a little either. I'm talking about a significant sugar punch that will cause your blood sugar to rise sharply and quickly. Now, your body can often handle that rise if you're active and under 30. However, your metabolism changes after the age of 60. An insulin spike and subsequent crash are caused by that sugar rush. And each time this occurs, your body produces inflammation deep within your joints, particularly in the soft tissues surrounding your ankles, hips, and knees. Particularly if you have nerve problems, you can experience a burning sensation in your toes, a tingling sensation that won't go away, swelling around your feet in the evening, or a creeping heaviness in your legs. Because mango tastes light, feels fresh, and doesn't seem like a big meal, it is simple to consume in greater portions. But doing so makes it worse. That's the trick though. The sensation of lightness is irrelevant to the body. The sugar causes it to react. Additionally, over time, that sugar may cause joint pain, sluggish walking, and unsteady legs. Many elderly people consume mangoes because they think they're a natural delight. It is natural too. However, natural does not always equate to safety for weaker circulation and aging joints. 2. Green apples. What comes next then? The following fruit has a tidy appearance, green, crisp, and lower in sugar. People believe it to be the safe option. However, it conceals something that can result in cramping during the night, tight knees, and hurting hips. Green apples, the 6th fruit, are a secret cause of leg pain. They appear crisp, clean, and organic. Additionally, most individuals, especially seniors, believe they are the healthier option because they taste less sweet. It seems like a healthy, low-sugar snack. However, most people are unaware of this. Green apples might subtly cause weariness, stiffness, and leg pain. Malic acid and hidden natural sugar are the two things that pose a threat. First, let's discuss malic acid. Green apples get their sour flavor from this acid. Additionally, it can be unpleasant for aging digestion. Even though it's great for youthful individuals, our gut lining gets more sensitive with age. Additionally, malic acid can irritate tissues, including joints, once it enters the body. After eating apples, some elderly people have severe hip or thigh pain. Others experience a mild heat in their feet or a tightness in their knees. It takes time to occur, but as time passes, the acid accumulates, and the agony increases in frequency. Green apples still contain natural sugars, even if they don't taste as sweet as red apples. Additionally, that sugar causes blood sugar fluctuations in elderly people with slower metabolisms. Your calves may be tired. Your legs may cramp at night. You may experience stiffness in the morning, or you may feel weak when ascending stairs. The most challenging aspect is that green apples are frequently consumed uncooked, as a snack, or even right before bed. As a result, the body is constantly affected by them. They appear very healthy and pure. However, green apples may be subtly making it harder to walk, stiffening joints, and making evenings more restless for aging bodies. 3. Oranges. Let's move on to a fruit that is associated with vitamin C and health juices, immunity-boosting drinks, and breakfast all included. Seniors, however, may experience an acidic attack on their joints. Oranges are the fifth fruit. Oranges, they're intelligent. They have a new scent. They're also all over the place: juices, health supplements, and breakfast platters. They are said to increase immunity because of vitamin C. However, oranges may be concealing an unpleasant reality for elders, particularly those over 60. Acid, which your joints dislike, is what's behind that citrus glow. Citrus is abundant in oranges. Even though that might seem normal, it can cause quiet joint irritation, particularly if your body is already battling inflammation, stiffness, or arthritis. When you wake up, you may experience a gradual stiffness in your knees, persistent hip pain, that uncomfortable sensation in your legs after prolonged sitting, decreased mobility, and increased swelling. You might assume it's simply aging. However, that healthy practice of drinking orange juice every morning can be contributing to the very pain you're attempting to prevent. This is what actually occurs. Orange's citric acid has effects beyond the stomach. It gets into your bloodstream and can exacerbate your joints' delicate tissues. Additionally, it causes blood sugar fluctuations when mixed with the fruit's natural sugar. And what's the result of that? Inflammation throughout the body. Every step seems a little heavier and more painful due to inflammation that spreads to your knees, ankles, and calves. You see, oranges may not be harmful to a younger individual. However, the effect develops subtly in an elderly person with aging joints and slower circulation. The most difficult aspect is that you're doing it with the belief that you're benefiting yourself, since oranges have long been associated with wellness. However, you are now aware that they could not be good for your health. 4. Watermelon. However, there are other delicious fruits that can be harmful besides grapes. Another is luscious, vibrant, and renowned for its ability to hydrate. Don't be duped though. On the inside, it functions like sugar, even though it tastes like water. Watermelon, light, revitalizing, a representation of hydration in summer. Is it possible that this watery fruit is subtly damaging your legs? Isn't that odd, since everyone agrees that watermelon is a good way to stay hydrated? It feels safe, has few calories, and is primarily water. Here's the secret though. The glycemic index is extremely high for watermelon. This indicates that it quickly raises blood sugar levels, much like candy. Additionally, seniors suffer significant harm from those frequent sugar spikes, particularly to their legs. Your body releases insulin when your blood sugar levels rise rapidly. However, insulin is poorly regulated in aging bodies. Inflammation results from this, particularly in places with inadequate circulation. Where does it appear? Your calf. Your ankles. Your knees. Leg tiredness may occur immediately after eating, a dull discomfort when taking quick strolls, that weird persistent swelling around your ankles. Stair climbing begins to resemble ascending a mountain. Watermelon has a light texture. On the inside, though, it acts like a charming trap, gently wearing down your legs. Most people eat a lot of it since it's juicy and refreshing. A single slice becomes 2, then 3. Add more sugar, more stress, increased inflammation. It's misleading. You believe you're drinking water. Your blood sugar is spiking instead. Your circulation is having trouble. Your legs are suffering as a result. Does watermelon actually help seniors stay hydrated, or does each mouthful subtly increase the discomfort of movement? It could be time to reconsider if the watermelon on your plate is erratic and your legs have been feeling more exhausted lately. 5. Grapes. Grapes often appear to be the perfect snack, small, juicy, convenient, and celebrated for their heart-healthy antioxidants. For many, grabbing a handful feels like making a smart, guilt-free choice. Yet for seniors, these innocent-looking fruits can harbor a danger that most people overlook. Grapes are packed with fructose, a simple sugar that's quickly processed by the liver. In moderation, the body copes, but as we age, metabolism slows and the ability to handle repeated sugar surges diminishes. When the liver becomes overwhelmed, excess fructose is converted into uric acid and stored fat. This seemingly benign process quietly sows the seeds of discomfort and immobility. The uric acid produced can settle in your joints, particularly in sensitive spots like your toes, ankles, and knees. The result? Subtle but growing stiffness, sporadic burning sensations, and swelling that seems to arrive without warning. That nagging pain in your big toe at night, or the creeping tightness in your calves, after a simple walk may have less to do with age than with your daily snacks. Worse still, grapes are so easy to overeat, tiny enough to pop one after another, quickly building up a sugar load that fuels inflammation and stiffness. As chronic inflammation takes hold, your movement becomes slower, your legs feel heavier, and each step is weighed down by an ache that never quite leaves. If you've noticed your mobility quietly declining despite your best efforts, the culprit could be lurking in that sweet, colorful bunch you enjoy without a second thought. For seniors, it's time to look more closely at grapes and question whether their supposed benefits outweigh the slow, silent damage they may inflict on aging joints and legs. 6. Bananas. Bananas have always been painted as nature's energy bar, soft, convenient, brimming with potassium, and perfect for anyone worried about muscle cramps. They're a staple at breakfast tables and in lunchboxes everywhere. Yet for those over 60, the story is far more complicated. Bananas are high in rapidly digestible carbohydrates and natural sugars, meaning that after eating, your blood sugar surges and then falls, often faster than your body can comfortably handle. With age, the body's insulin response weakens, circulation slows, and the delicate balance that keeps muscles and joints functioning smoothly begins to falter. The impact isn't always immediate. At first, you may simply notice a mild heaviness in your legs after eating, a dull ache when climbing the stairs, or a new stiffness that lingers after a meal. Bananas also encourage the body to retain fluid, a risk factor for those with heart issues. The result can be swelling in the feet and ankles, persistent joint stiffness, and a growing sense of weakness that seems inexplicable. Over time, what began as a healthy habit may become a source of chronic discomfort. The muscle protection that bananas promise can, paradoxically, leave you struggling with fatigue, swelling, and joint pain. As days pass, this cycle repeats silently. The promise of energy and muscle support fades into the background, replaced by legs that tire more quickly and an unrelenting soreness in your calves. If you've come to rely on bananas for daily energy or muscle care, and you now find your mobility slipping, take a moment to consider whether this familiar fruit might be playing a hidden role in your struggles. For many seniors, the real key to strength is not what you add, but what you're willing to question and adjust. 7. Pineapple. Pineapple often arrives in a blaze of tropical color, refreshing, juicy, and championed for its natural anti-inflammatory bromelain. Its sweet tang is a staple of summer salads and morning smoothies, and for years, it's been hailed as a health food for young and old alike. However, for seniors, pineapple's effects can be much more complicated than the marketing suggests. Beneath its vibrant flesh lies a combination of strong acids and concentrated natural sugars, a duo that can gradually erode joint health and sap leg strength in subtle but powerful ways. As the body ages, blood vessels grow more fragile and the ability to regulate sugar spikes diminishes. Eating pineapple may seem harmless, but its sugar content causes a rapid increase in blood glucose. These sudden jumps strain the tiny vessels that nourish your legs, feet, and muscles, reducing the flow of oxygen and leaving you with aching, tired legs, even after the simplest stroll. But the hidden trouble doesn't end with sugar. Pineapple's natural acids can inflame sensitive joints, worsening existing arthritis or chronic inflammation. That persistent burning in your knees or heavy fatigue in your hips may well be fueled by this favorite tropical fruit, not just by time. To complicate matters, if you're on blood thinners or certain medications, the bromelain in pineapple can interact dangerously, making your medicine too strong or too weak. Pineapple's most dangerous effect, though, is its subtlety. There's rarely immediate pain or obvious side effects. Instead, it creeps in gradually, causing your legs to weaken and your range of motion to fade, year after year. The tragedy is that most seniors eat pineapple with the belief that it's helping them stay healthy, never realizing it might be quietly contributing to the very weakness they hope to avoid. If you've battled unexplained leg pain or stubborn swelling, it may be time to rethink your relationship with this tropical deceiver, choosing knowledge and caution in place of blind trust. Now that you've uncovered the surprising truth about certain fruits that may be undermining your strength, it's time to shift focus, not to fear, but to healing. Because just as there are fruits that silently weaken your legs, there are others that work just as quietly, but in your favor. These are the nourishing, restorative choices that support joint health, ease inflammation, and keep your steps strong and steady as you age. Let's start with some of the smallest, yet most powerful allies, berries. Whether it's blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries, these vibrant little fruits are low in sugar but loaded with antioxidants. They soothe inflammation, protect blood vessels, and gently enhance blood flow, especially in the legs. With consistent consumption, they can help restore flexibility and reduce that persistent morning stiffness or swelling that slows you down. Cherries, when consumed mindfully, are another natural remedy for aching joints. They're known to lower uric acid, making them an excellent defense against gout and flare-ups of joint pain. Just a small handful can help calm the burning sensation in your toes or relieve that nagging discomfort in your knees. The key is moderation, too many can backfire. Next up is the creamy, green powerhouse, the avocado. Though not often thought of as a fruit, it is one, and it happens to be one of the most effective for joint support. Thanks to its rich supply of healthy fats, avocado cushions your joints, minimizes inflammation, and helps stabilize blood sugar, giving your body sustained energy without harmful spikes or crashes. If you need something gentle and supportive for both digestion and joints, reach for papaya. This soft tropical fruit contains natural enzymes that ease inflammation and assist your gut. For older adults, whose digestive systems may be more sensitive, papaya offers smooth nourishment without aggravation. It's a fruit that treats your insides and your joints with equal care. And don't forget about the humble pear. Light, subtly sweet, and filled with fiber, pears are easy to digest and can be paired with a bit of protein for steady energy release. Unlike sugary fruits that spike blood sugar and trigger inflammation, pears keep things stable, letting your legs move with less resistance and more control. These aren't just fruits, they're functional allies, working with your body rather than against it. When you choose them with intention, they do more than nourish. They repair, protect, and restore, giving you back the strength and balance that age may have begun to erode. So remember, it's not about removing fruit from your life, it's about knowing which ones will walk with you, not weigh you down. Make those choices, and you'll feel it, in your joints, your steps, and your mornings. Aging doesn't have to mean surrendering your strength, your balance, or your freedom. Sometimes, all it takes is awareness, a simple shift in what you put on your plate, to reclaim the power in your steps and the comfort in your joints. The fruits you choose each day can either build you up or slowly break you down. And now that you know the truth, the decision is in your hands. You don't need to fear food. You just need to be wiser with it. Every choice you make, every bite, can become part of your healing. So, if you felt that heaviness in your legs, that stubborn stiffness in your knees, or that unexplained fatigue creeping in, know this: change is possible. One fruit at a time, one decision at a time, you can take back control of your body. If this video has opened your eyes, even just a little, then don't stop here. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because there's so much more your body is waiting to tell you. Here, we uncover the truths that matter. The ones that protect your future. And your support helps us keep sharing them with the people who need it most. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay informed, and never forget, your health is your power.